Welcome back to another video. It's the T on NPD and relationships. Hello, everyone. To all of my new subscribers and new family members, hello, hi, welcome. And to my tribe and family at large, welcome back. Thank you all so much for coming back and watching another video, family. Y'all know I love to always ask y'all to do hit that like button, please. Thank you. Hit that like button. This is how we get the information spread throughout the algorithm. I don't want you to just hit the like button. I want you to hit subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. Subscribe to the channel. All right. And also share the video. Share the video. Share the video. Okay. Make sure you share the video. All right. So thank you all so much. Y'all know the goal of the day is 2.1K plus. If you rocks with your girl, y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button. Thank you. Thank y'all so much. All right, y'all. Listen, next also too, if you are in need of a life coach, want you to know that I am now accepting a new coaching client. So if you will email us at the email that is pinned in the description below, I will make sure that myself or one of my team members gets back to you so we can get you the information for coaching. All right. If you have not gotten a copy of the book, Seduced by Satan, what you waiting on, y'all? Okay. I need y'all to go ahead and pick up a copy of the book today. The link is pinned in the description below. All right. Grab a copy for yourself and somebody else. And we'll also recommend it to your book clubs. Okay. All right. This is my first book collaborative effort. This is not a fictional novel or anything like that. This is for real. This is based on a true story. Okay. This bird really did that. Yeah, he did. He did it. All right. So listen, y'all, let's jump into the topic of this video. I couldn't wait to get this one out this morning. Okay. Let me talk about this. Okay. What is it that y'all, the narcissists don't respect anybody. They are very disrespectful. Let's be clear. They are very disrespectful. But I want to talk about the fact that when you did this, that the narcissist had no choice but to respect you. Okay. Now, I want to give you a little backstory here and a little story time. So in my own situation dealing with a narcissist, and most of y'all know I dealt with 3. Okay. And so when I was in the relationship with narcissist number 3. Okay. Now it was kind of intermittently with one as far as like, doing what I'm about to share with you all. But narcissist number 3, I think, was the worst as far as like, the pursuit, because it wasn't like a hard discard like it was with 1 and 2. It was kind of like I just faded to the background. Okay. Just when I found out what it was, so what I found was it didn't matter what I said. It didn't matter that I was like, no, I'm cool. I don't want to be a part of this. Like I don't want this anymore. The pursuit was ridiculous. So when you see stuff like that, that person is literally not respecting your boundaries. Okay. And that is not uncommon with a narcissist. That is actually very common. And this is why boundaries, just like no contact, is like their kryptonite, and that's a whole nother video. But I'm going to tell y'all something. When I basically stood my ground, and said, no, this is the way that it's going to be. I don't want anything else to do with you. And that's basically what you're going to have to live with. Well, that's rejection to a narcissist. And anytime you are going to bring in the whole situation of rejection, you are definitely going to deal with, pushback, because rejection and abandonment is something that is real and ever present before their face each and every day. They don't want to be rejected. They don't want to be abandoned. For borderlines, that's their whole problem. But with narcissists, it's their problem. That's a problem. They can't deal with that, right? But not only that, it's the fact that they have zero empathy and they're not going to learn from their mistakes. So what am I saying? It doesn't matter if you try to tell a narcissist and you try to stay in that relationship with them them or whatever, you try to tell them different things about, you know, the way that they should treat you and all of this kind of stuff, they're not going to listen to you. Okay, because who are you to bring criticisms about the way that they're treating you or the way that they're behaving in the relationship? You know, that to them feels like rejection. It feels like you're coming down on them. It feels like you're basically, it's not, they don't see it as constructive criticism because they're not going to learn from the past mistakes that they made that you brought to their attention. They're not going to learn from that because to them, it's a narcissistic injury for you to say something anyway, point blank in the period. Okay, so that's what has to be understood first. So, I mean, all of that to say this. You cannot, to a person that has no ideology of limits and boundaries and things like that, you can't tell a person like that I need you to back up. Okay? You can't tell them that because they're like, you're their property. So how are you going to tell them that? But what you did was, in the whole situation, and that's why I want to bring it to the forefront, is this. Is when you actually put your boundaries down and the narcissist ignored your boundaries. Okay. The narcissist said, you know what? I ain't even finna, I don't care what you say. That's your business. That don't have nothing to do with me. Okay. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to say what I want to say. And you're my property and you're going to do what I tell you to do. Yeah, that's how they get down. So let me tell you something. These birds right here, they are very entitled. You understand what I'm saying? Very entitled. So you sitting there like, what in the world is happening right here? Yeah, what's happening is they don't care nothing about what you're saying and what you're doing. It's all about their agenda. So you sat there and you told them, listen, this is what you doing. This is how you doing it. And you basically thought that you were talking to a person that had good sense. Yeah, they don't have good sense. No. A narcissist doesn't have good sense. So what you're literally dealing with is you're dealing with an overgrown toddler that doesn't want to realize what they're doing. And they don't want to realize the fact that they have insufficiencies when it comes to the relationship department and they need to fix their problem or else you gonna be out the door. You said that to them time and time again. You told them more than one time. Before you decided to exit the relationship, they told you were crazy. They told you were delusional. They told you that you didn't know what you were talking about. They never did those things. They gaslit the mess out of you. They did. They did because they could. And you stood there thinking to yourself like, is it me or am I losing my mind? Some of y'all actually went to the degree of, let me go get a therapist because maybe it's me. When you found out after about 2-3 weeks in therapy that, yeah, you probably needed to fix some stuff, but it wasn't you. Especially if that therapist was trauma informed and you were very explicit about what how you told the therapist about your situation. They probably told you dealing with a toxic individual. They probably told you that you're probably dealing with a narcissist. They probably said it. You like a narcissist. What's that? We always think that these are just people with, they just have all of this big, they got this entitlement thing. Yeah, they do have an entitlement thing going on. They do. But the point of the matter is this, y'all. When you were in that relationship fighting and trying to tell them to stop doing what you're doing, stop coming in late, stop cheating, stop lying, stop gaslighting, stop doing all of these things. I mean, they were just running amok. And you're just like, okay. At this point, I'm tired of talking. Yeah, because this backwards walking giraffe ain't gonna get it. They ain't gonna get it. Because you know what? Birds, if you really look at birds, when they flying in the air, right? Birds don't care nothing about where they dropping their stuff at. They don't care nothing about that. Okay? Even if you sitting up under the tree, if it's a whole bunch of birds in that tree, you better get from under that tree because, baby, birds don't care. They'll crap on anything. That's just like a narcissist. That's why I call them birds, because they crap on anything. Okay? Including you. your dreams, your aspiration, your purpose, your destiny. Yeah, they taking a dump on all that. Yeah. That's going down. So that's what you did. You tried to tell them, listen, I don't want you to behave that way. Listen, let's come to the table and talk about it. The narcissist told you crazy. I ain't coming to the table and talk to you about nothing because I didn't do nothing. I ain't cheated on you. I ain't lied to you. I never gaslighted. What is that? I don't even know what that means. All of this stuff that you accusing me of, I never even done it. So why are you talking to me like that? Okay. So guess what you said? Okay, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Because guess what? Here's the deal. If I don't put a stop to this narcissist is never going to stop doing what they're doing. They're going to keep on doing it. They're going to keep on disrespecting me with all of the terrible decisions that they're making about what concerns my heart, basically. That part. So what you decided that you was going to do is that you just going to go ahead and leave, or you got into it with the narcissist. Y'all done had argument after argument. And that narcissist told you that, you know what, I'm sick and tired of dealing with this. I don't want to be bothered with you anymore. They already over there playing around with the new supply. You presenting too many problems. Either way it goes, either you did the discard or you caused the narcissist to do it. Okay? So now that discard happened, it's going down. It's really happening. Okay? And so you dealt with the pain of exiting the relationship. That's something right there. I'm going to tell y'all something. When you have to leave a relationship with somebody like that is completely sometimes enmeshed in your life, your emotions are all intertwined with their toxicity and everything else that they got going on. So guess what? Here's the deal. You decided that, I'm going to get up out of here. It is what it is. And I know I'm going to have to deal with some of this stuff that, that's going to come about with this situation. Okay, I'm ready. Like, let's go. And so when you did that, the narcissist looked like, okay, they didn't believe that it was happening initially. But then you got up out of there. And so the narcissist said that, okay, so they're going to give you a few weeks. They're going to give you a month or two to go ahead and calm down or whatever. Then here they come back with their apologies and everything else. Baby, let me tell you what you did. And this is the part where the narcissist couldn't do anything but respect you after this. Baby, let me tell you what you did. When that narcissist came back calling and a knocking and everything else, baby, you left it where there once was a door. You built a wall. You slammed that thing, that boundary right there, that boundary, you hit them with it 5 ways from Friday. Yeah. You didn't answer the phone. You not returning any text messages. You not about to be bothered with the emails. Like none of that. None of that. This right here was the single most important thing that you could ever do in a situation like that. Why? Because this right here, it not only commands respect, it is on its face. Okay? On its face. It demands it. It demands it. Because a narcissist can do nothing. I'm going to tell you something. They can't do nothing with your boundary. When you don't put a fence up, where they can't tear it down with their emotional manipulation, they couldn't do anything but respect it. Because guess what? At this point, you said to them, and this is the way that they see it from their side, is that your emotional manipulation, your fake apologies that never come with a behavioral change. And I've said this before. Apology without change is not an apology. It's manipulation. So they found out that wasn't going to work anymore. They found out that, listen, they trying to, buy you gifts, send you flowers. How you going to put flowers on something that your brokenness created? You can't put no flowers to that. What you doing? No, you need to go and get yourself together. And guess what? You're going to get yourself together outside of this space that I'm in, because I'm not letting you come back over here. because you done did enough damage. That's what your boundary did to that narcissist. So let me tell you something. Family, when you do that right there, that's the baddest, most I'm in control type move that you could ever do when it comes to them. Because you know with them, it's all about control. A narcissist will do everything that they can to remain in control because of that insignificance that they feel about themselves, that low self-esteem, low self-value, all of that. So what you did was you went on ahead and told them, listen, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you say. You know, you didn't tell them this out of your own mouth. Just the fact that you reinforced that boundary right there. They couldn't do anything but respect it. That's all they can do is respect you from here on. They can't talk to you. They can't be a part of your world. They can't do any of that. Why? Because you decided to stand up for something that they sat down on all the time that you were with them. Your respect and your dignity. That's what they sat on. But you decided to stand up and you held that banner up and that boundary and said, no, you're going to respect me. I don't care who you don't respect, but you're going to respect me. And that's what that action showed them. So fam, I hope this helped y'all. You know what I'm saying? Don't let go of your boundaries. Stand 10 toes down. Okay? Show up for yourself. All right, fam. So y'all be real good to yourselves. All right. And I'll see y'all on the next video, fam. And I will see you all healed and whole at the top. Shalom, family. Peace.